The Stewart Historic Preservation Commission work session for today on April 11th, 2024. Number one, do we need to take attendance?
Okay, roll call for the work session. Ward.
Here.
Erickson is excused. Lemaster is excused. Walker.
Here.
Mashlin.
Here.
Benoit.
Here.
And Chair Lebrecht.
Here.
Okay, you have a quorum.
All right, we have a quorum. Thank you very much. Our number one order today is to review 2024 Historic Preservation Award nominations, which are given out once a year. We did not at this point yet receive any nominations for Historic Preservation Award. Wondering if that email went out, I think a month or two ago, I believe. Is that correct?
I think we probably should have posted something on Facebook about it too, because usually it goes out at the same time every year.
Is it possible to extend the deadline?
That's what I was going to suggest, that we do that. I missed the January meeting due to illness, so I don't know what was discussed, but I suspect there's people out there. We just didn't get the word out as well as we probably should have.
And so it could go out via your mail as well as Facebook, and if we could get it at the library as well, I think would be an appropriate place. And anything else anyone can think of. But we normally give it out in May,
right.
But we don't have a meeting anything in May, so it would be May City Council.
Right. Well, basically, I think it's National Historic Preservation Month, which is when we give we try to give the award out. So, I don't know if we want to move that, maybe like for Seward Day or something. I don't know.
Is that the reason for the deadline? Is
Yeah.
it for May?
May is because it's just one of the things for National Historic Preservation Month.
We could also post it on probably like the Resurrection Day Historic Society website to get it out to those folks.
Yeah. So what I was saying is I think we can do all that, but do we want to back or move the award date? We'll have to say we need all of our nominations by this date. And I was just going to look. I think I have it in our little thing. Our schedule, is that in?
And your next meeting is August 8th, I believe.
Yeah, but I think this goes out in May. Do we have the schedule in the packet?
No, we do not have the schedule.
Yeah, I have about 100 of them at home, I think. But yeah, it's usually,
Oh, yes, we do. We do have the schedule.
so we just need, when is it generally awarded in May? That's what I was looking for.
Well, I have a question of procedure, which is, let's just say that we get a few applications that come in May. Do we have to meet as a body to then vote on those? We cannot do that by proxy or by email or anything, can we?
No, I think we'd have to have a special meeting. We'd have
That's
to
a special meeting.
Special meeting. Or have it coincide with your August meeting.
That's why I was wondering when the date was.
So the August meeting is August 8th.
8th, but look at May, if you can look under May and see when we give out the award. When is it presented? City Council usually does that.
So City Council meets May 13th and May 28th.
Yeah, but on our schedule.
I left it for both of those.
Okay.
So for us to vote on one,
All right,
either
and
one.
so when you back up, so if that's where it might be presented, so the later date would be probably the preferred one.
Probably the 28th.
So when would we, so then we'd probably have to meet, I'm just building back so that we have a deadline.
Yeah, and we can have a special meeting that's literally a 15-minute special meeting just for one item.
Just to look at if we get any applications, to decide, probably if we got like 2 applications, we'd give both of them out. But, so the city council meetings are what?
City Council meetings are May 13th and May 28th.
And it's usually, do we give them an award or a proclamation? What is it that we usually give them?
An award.
Okay, so we'd have to have time to get that put together.
Yeah, how much time do we have to have that material? Let's say that we say it's whatever house, and it's picked, and we give it to who made the award? Did the library make it? Did you make? Who made the award? Who actually put on the award the name? Is it clerk or is it?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
I remember it was Tiffany and Al Siller
Mhm, with
But
it-
but who
But I don't-
puts it, who actually types that in?
I remember, I think we had a hand in working on it, but I think it was a collaboration.
And it's usually in like a little envelope, and then it's given to the mayor, and the mayor presents it at a city council meeting.
So here's my question, is one, could administration help with just actually taking the award, making the award? And then two, how far in advance would we have to provide that to city council to have them put it in consideration for the 28th?
Yeah. Trying to build a timeline.
I would say, well, it really would all depend. I would say push out flyers, reshare Facebook posts, have RBHS post it. I would say it is the 11th. Let's see what we have by April 25th. Let's say we have 2 or
that's it.
3.
Yeah, back
in
it
2
up, and that
weeks.
gives you time then, us time to prepare for that city council meeting. It's not a huge preparation. I mean, I think it's a pre-printed thing that just needs to be done, and they slide it in a nice envelope or a
Okay.
nice folder, something that just looks nice. But I think there's something on somebody's computer somewhere.
Okay.
So if we put out some posts trying to get nominations, usually there's a deadline. You know,
That's what we're
these
saying,
things get
April
by.
25th.
April 25th.
April 25th?
I would say extend the deadline from 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
I can easily put out flyers in the library quick and
Right,
easy.
and-
RBHS,
His meeting, so I'll address them.
and I can have one of the members come in that are already in the workroom, because that's where you get access to the RBHS Facebook. They can post out and send out an email, and
And just see if we get anybody.
in 2
Can
weeks.
someone contact Mr. Kurtz to see about radio? One of you two have been talking to him.
Wolf?
I
Wolf?
can call Becky and just say, hey, can you?
Can you
'cause
throw this in
She's
between?
been doing announcements actually for stuff related to HPC. I just saw her
Okay.
yesterday and she told me
Oh,
she puts
that-
stuff out all the time on the radio.
Well, talk to Becky then. Do you mind doing that, Marianne?
What about the post office? That's the only
Oh,
one.
great
post
idea.
I see.
Post office.
Yeah, everybody goes there. Everybody goes there. So
Does the Safeway still have a community?
I believe they do, but
I know
they're
they're
sort
under
of in
renovation.
disarray right
It's better
now.
if you stick it on the window as you
Yeah.
walk in.
So who can do post office and who can do Safeway?
If I get a flyer, I can do the post office.
I can do Safeway if I've got the
Yeah,
flyer.
do we,
Awesome, thank you, Todd.
so can we get a flyer from you, or is there something already done?
I'm pretty sure there's something already done on my file
Okay.
computer that
Just
is under.
just needs to be updated, and
Yeah.
I'll swing by, no problem, I'll swing by, when you got one ready, let me know, I'll swing by post office, your Safeway.
Print them out, and then, because I'll just print it out tomorrow morning and put it on the library, so if you guys can swing by tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, not a
that'll be
problem,
good.
I'm actually going to the post office, I have a package, so that'd be like totally ideal.
You gotta pick it up, I'll yell at you.
Fantastic.
And I'll be going to the RBHS meeting, or I can talk to Linda, or,
Perfect.
we can talk to the Prez,
I can make a post and just put it on the Facebook
Perfect.
page for them.
and just get a little bit more out and see if we get anything back.
Two of them from you, I can put one in.
That's awesome.
Resart.
Print those.
You're gonna do Res Art, Todd?
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. So if you could, thank you very much. I'll make a few extra flyers, because it sounds like people will have some ideas.
I'll make them
And if we
pretty.
don't get any nominations, can we nominate somebody for
Yes,
one?
I believe we probably could.
So we should probably be thinking about that just in case, so we have at least a nomination.
And Chris, will you push it out via, once you get the flyer information or whatever, however you want to do that, will you push it out via the usual methods as well
Do
too?
that.
Make sure we're all copied, and then it'll remind us. All right, thank you very much. Any other further discussion on the Historic Preservation Award nomination?
Quick
Yes, sir.
question, can you remind me, please, where the criteria for the award?
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great
recipients are
question.
I think that there's.
I think it's on the website.
City.
It's on the
that basically,
website.
when we say, you can nominate somebody, blah, 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 in these posts, there's usually a link that goes to.
So there's a link on the Historic Preservation Committee tab.
And there's a form, I
And
believe
there's
there's
a
a
form.
form that you fill out and submit.
And on the nomination form, it has a series of bullets of like, this person demonstrated this person demonstrated this, or involved and created this activity, and then there is like a little paragraph kind of, why do you, goodness. Why do you want to nominate this person? And there's a little room. And you can attach a form, etc.
So if our clerk can send out the form along with the notification, that would be great. And perhaps as you give us flyers, maybe with a nomination form as well, or at least just on the flyer where they can link to go. And I think some people probably do like to go old school and
Yeah.
just have a printed copy.
Sounds good.
So that would be fantastic.
That's the whole point of historic.
We give them a pen.
I don't do those things, I do a quill pen.
Exactly. All right, any other further discussion? All right, let's talk about our 2024 Historic Preservation Month activities. And Ally, thank you so much, Ms. Stacy, for helping
I just threw them all together.
all this, and Vice Chair Ward for putting this schedule together, which makes it kind of easy to figure out what we're doing here. So, ideas to discuss. Public display could be at the library and museum display case. Organizing a community gathering to share memories. That sounds like fun. Community room. Inviting a guest speaker to present about historic places and districts in the community room or social media.
I have a comment about that one.
Yes.
Maybe we could actually do that and do it at like a St. Peter's Church or
No.
a cable house or something.
That'd be cool to do at church.
Like in a historic building and get a speaker.
No, yeah, because one of the things that RBHS, usually, this is kind of in their purview, and we always offer to assist, and they kind of like to do their own thing. So I think if they'll probably do a community speaker, they might have some activities, I'm going to attend their meeting. But if we do something that's a little different and separate, like at St. Peter's or at the cable house, I think that's a fabulous idea. And we won't be treading on any toes.
Because I know you had mentioned to me before, you thought it'd be kind of cool to actually do something there. I would love to go in that church and actually see that painting, and I've never actually been there. And it
Is
seems
that
to be a great time to do something like that.
I don't know if everyone is aware, but it does happen to be the 50th anniversary of Historic Preservation Month.
I just want to, a lot of people have,
I did not know
I
that.
do
a lot of people have mentioned to me what's going on with it. They're very concerned, just generally out there. So I think we should advertise that. And if we could hold something in the church and even talk about the painting, that's pretty interesting.
Which is celebrating its centennial next
Yeah.
year.
But you were saying 50th anniversary of Historic Preservation Month, not related to the church.
That's awesome.
But, so, yeah, I didn't know that. And did you say, was there some anniversary for the church?
The Reredas is celebrating its centennial in 25.
So how would we go about figuring out if we could utilize the church for?
You could ask me.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just going to say, maybe what we need is a committee, Todd, and I would be happy to assist with that. I would be happy to assist
Yeah,
with
there's
that.
no problem. Whatever we plan, we can get in this.
I think a talk about the painter, about the history of the painting, and the history of St. Peter's. I think that a lot of people would love to be in there. I think there's a lot of people. They're looking at that church right now. People are looking.
Well, the sign is out there. We have some history out there, and are walking to the sign, but it'd be kind of nice if there was more that could be fleshed out, and we could have a speaker. I wonder if Doug Capra has more knowledge, where maybe he would consider being a speaker and kind of more
He
detail.
has tentatively has offered a redaction of his book that includes a chapter about St. Peter's and just reprinting that chapter.
That's cool.
And if he's willing to do that, maybe that could be made available for this event. I don't know how quickly you can pull that together.
Well, I was just thinking maybe people could go into the church and he could be a speaker talking about the history of St. Peter's
Yeah.
for the event. If he
Both of them have the redaction, and then also have him do a presentation. He's such a good presenter. He's just a great presenter, and then we could have coffee and, other stuff.
Is he
Yeah,
back?
I don't know. If we're at least 6 weeks out of anything, we might plan. Episcopal Diocese does have a staff historian. You might be able to,
And so, Todd, if you and I want to get together over a cup of coffee at Res Art or something, we can sit down and plan it. I think Mary Ann's got some great ideas. Talk to Doug Capper, see what we can put together, and then send out a note to everybody.
And just a thought, like, this is all about Historic Preservation Month, right? So even though Resurrection Bay Historical Society usually it does some events on, they pick a day and they do something every year, doesn't necessarily mean we would have to do this thing on the exact same day. It could be
No,
another day.
it could be any day
That way it
that's
wouldn't
convenient.
overlap or
Yeah.
take away from anything.
Right.
there.
You just have to make sure that we don't steal their thunder. I think that's just the main thing. But we could do this, and I think this would be a separate event. And I would go to their board meeting, because I sit on, and I would tell them that we're doing this, so that, they'd probably help with putting out some information. There's a lot of people really interested in that church. So I think it's time to focus a little bit on St. Peter's.
I would suggest St. Peter's as a meeting place, and then as people are leaving, if they wish to go on an abbreviated walking tour, right from there,
Yeah.
you could certainly do that. That would be a really cool thing.
Could head down to 3rd Avenue, you're real close.
Yeah.
So,
And Van Impel's house is right there. It's not on the walking tour sign, but it's right there on the corner. That
It's
little
actually
brown
on our-
house.
It's on our map.
It's on the map, yeah. So it's right there. So there's just a whole lot. And then, walk up the street to the millionaire.
Fourth
Yeah.
Avenue District.
Exactly. So we could make it a,
We could do like what we did before for the Wellness Week, where we had people, different commissioners going, oh yeah, I could take people over to this section, could take people to that section.
we divvied it up.
People could decide what they wanted to see, and we could walk and go different.
They want to do the shopping district, or they want to
Yeah,
do the
we
beach?
divvied up the tour because it's so long, you can't really walk it. And people loved that. People really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. We had a bunch of kids, which was kind of neat.
that sounds awesome. When I see
So
the
we'll
kids'
get together,
activity,
we'll get together, Todd, and
let's do
sort it out.
historic property coloring sheets. Is that,
those.
is that something that maybe kids could be brought over as people go through the tour, and they could go on the tour if the kids didn't feel like, small kids didn't feel like walking through the tour, and the kids could do coloring or something?
Yeah. I mean,
Supervised while we
could do
do
that
the other thing?
in tandem.
Yeah, so, the reason why I thought about it was because of
It's a great idea.
Mark Luttrell did a bunch of illustrations of St. Peter's, of Res Art.
They're really beautiful cards.
They are.
Yeah.
And we were discussing, and he goes in and he can erase and just do the main structure. So it's very simple for children, provide a table off to the side, let's say during this talk. So then people can bring their kids with them, provide coloring, like crayons, colored pencils for them to do while this is happening.
The more people we can get in the door of St. Peter's, people are concerned about that building.
And I was thinking of having them in the museum anyway, so that's why I threw it on the list.
Yeah.
Well, it's a
we
good
could-
idea, just a lot of it, in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And we could show the movie potentially that we have.
Yeah, definitely. I have that on the digital file, so
Yeah,
it's
because
quite,
you're already showing that all the time anyway, along with the earthquake movement.
yep.
And before we go on to the
think
next
it's the earthquake
subject,
movie.
would you like me to call Doug Capper or email him and just say, hey, we're thinking of this thing?
Are you available? Yeah, are you
Interested
gonna be
this talk?
in
We don't
town?
have a date yet, but just see if he's interested. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mary Ann.
Lots of stuff here. Organizing Rocketeer, we talked about it. Holding a how-to workshop. I'm not sure what the how-to was. Was it how-to renovation?
Like renovation, kind of just historic preservation 101. There's many videos, and I think with a lot of people who do own historic properties, just what are some steps that they have to take to, kind of just sharing different stories and like what.
Sharing how we fumble through.
Yes, how to fumble through.
So I'm thinking, I like that idea, but I'm thinking of,
Tutorials, that's a good thing.
Be a
Yeah.
good place to have our guidelines.
in terms of most of these things are happening like on one day or a weekend like that. Some things can go off cycle, like obviously social media post, and then the how-to workshop would be a separate day though.
Be
Obviously, it's too
something
much
that's also-
activity, but that would be something that somebody could do. And there might be somebody from the State Historic Preservation Office, Maria Lewis, could come down.
Oh, it should
perhaps.
be really good,
She would be really great.
Yeah.
especially if you're looking for a grant.
Yeah, we
So
don't
make some
necessarily have to have
That's a
just
good idea.
one
Tell people
how-to
to-
session.
Yeah,
right?
you could
We
have a couple,
do
3.
a whole series, Saturdays
They
throughout
would-
the month.
Yeah, they would love it. Those folks at the SHPO office would love to come down if they could make it work. I know that they really want to promote, so that would be pretty cool I could ask Maria Lewis about that specifically, and she could do the how-to of how you get grants. And then there's the grant station I know we're going to be talking about in a little bit. So we could talk about the grant station and tie that together.
And that will be in place by May.
This is amazing.
So we could have stuff going on for the whole month and really do something with it, 'cause
Right.
we don't.
And the only thing is just coordinate with RBHS so that we're not in conflict, in terms of trying to get the same space.
Yeah.
Or double up, they're doing something, then, we may back off and let them do it.
I
But I
we
think
should-
it's really 2 separate things, but make it the whole month.
Maybe we should contact, I forget, the Port City Players and go, could you guys dress up like historical characters and be around, like where we bring people for the walking tour?
that'd
And
be so
like,
fun.
be actors, like, John Boleyn,
That'd be
or,
really cool.
somebody working on the line, or whatever. I think that would be super cool.
I think we went Dutch Emma.
President Harding showing up at St. Peter's?
And who?
President Harding?
Harding,
Exactly.
President
Okay, so
Harding.
lots of fun here. Now, here's my procedural question again. So, quick pick. So, we don't have another meeting until August unless we call a special meeting, and we've got tremendous ideas here which will require at least some committee work. I don't think that we timeline everything tonight and then just send everybody out on their own, because this is a lot. So does this require a special meeting, or how many of us are allowed to actually talk about this to make things happen?
3?
Yeah,
No
maximum
less
of
than a
3
quorum.
in a committee.
So we could have groups, so we could have committees of
We could
3.
have coffee and talk about, yeah.
3 of
Yeah.
us can do that piece of
Right,
it.
and then
St. Peter's.
Ollie and could do others. And then just keep in touch. I think we just send out emails so that each group knows what's happening, but
Am I allowed to communicate with folks about the commitments they made, or could Ms. Kurtz maybe communicate, or could you communicate out what the commitments are to each, since I don't communicate directly with each person?
Yeah, we could do that.
yeah.
Okay.
People that, what we said we do, you're gonna hold us accountable? Oh, no.
That'd be
Oh my
great.
gosh.
This is really exciting. This is really good, so we'll have to put some more
This is
work on
fun.
that. This is fun. All right, so I think those things, just to recap, the museum and display case, that's something you certainly could do. You got
That's
this.
me.
Organizing community gatherings, share memories. We talked about doing community gathering over at St. Peter's, correct? And then maybe having it be the start for a walking tour
Or guest speaker.
or a guest speaker, so we talked about that.
We'll sort something out.
Sort something out. The how-to workshop, I'm going to call Maria Lewis. The kids' activity, again, calling sheets, you can.
I
you
can
got that?
provide those for you all.
Wonderful. Hosting special tours, local organizations. We did not talk about art scene, Rotary, et cetera. That could just be part of the walking tour if we decide to put that in. I'll leave that to you guys. Social media posts, you can, once we get our commitments on what we're doing and it starts forming as things are actually happening, you could post about that, correct? All right. All right. Any other discussion? Very exciting.
Fun. We need to have some fun.
I like fun.
Fun is good.
All right. Next item up for discussion, the CLG process updates. We did put a CLG grant in this year. I got lots of assistance here from Ally and from our city manager as well too. Everything got in on time. They got an overwhelming number of applications, and I think because of the fact, and they really wanted, I think, to give us something, but because of the fact that we already have gotten a grant before and we already have 26 signs or whatever already in, I do believe that they'll let us do it maybe next time, but for this time they needed to prioritize for some other projects. They got tremendous interest, which in fact is cool. It means on a statewide basis that there's more being done for history.
Yeah,
So-
Chair Lebrecht, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think that was actually meant to go into the regular meeting discussion.
Oh,
It just happens to be part of the National
And I think-
Preservation Month activities,
Yes.
but it's not part of the 4 topics for the work session.
Okay.
Okay, but we are going to resubmit. I think the point of this one for the work session is that we are going to resubmit. Do we need to update it, or was there any feedback on that?
I have not received feedback. We can talk about it during the regular meeting, though. I think
Okay.
that's your point, right? So we
Just
can
don't want
do
you
that.
to steal your own thunder.
There you go.
I won't steal my own
No,
thunder.
no.
All right. And then Grant
Looking out for
Station, Grant Station updates as well.
Yeah, I believe those two at the very bottom transfer over to the agenda
All right.
packet.
Yeah, because on the regular meeting agenda, they're under item 10 for the informational items and reports.
All right. Then if I look at the front here, we had discussing and developing the plan for St. Peter's Episcopal Church. And we just talked about some things that we're going to do. Was there something else behind that specifically that we wanted
Well,
to talk about?
I was going to ask Todd, is there anything that the church is going to do? I know that you have a small congregation and that there's some other things going on, but is the diocese aware of the needs of that church?
Yes, and there will be a deanery meeting our annual deanery meeting at the end of this month, the weekend of the 25th, at which we'll be having some serious discussion.
Do you
Regarding
need some
some
backup
matters.
before that, or, I'm happy to attend if that would be helpful.
And probably not the
Okay.
deanery meeting.
I look at that church, I just live up the street, I look at it every day and worry.
Yeah. Believe me. The church itself has money, but it's restricted funds, so we're limited in what we are able to do on our own. So the plan is to work through the deanery and the diocese to find out what resources are available from those parts of the larger church, and then after that, once Grant Station is up and working, to start looking for either government or private sector grants to accomplish the many tasks that.
Right, and I think the big issue in Seward is finding somebody who will do the work.
Yeah. Well,
Because that's going to be restoration, big time.
yeah, we're required by the diocese to take a minimum of 3 bids before selecting a contractor, and just finding 3 available people.
If you could find
is a
one, you'd be
challenge.
really happy.
Yeah, so that's part of what we're
The
going to be
issue.
discussing
Okay.
at deanery, whether we can somehow get a waiver of those, what are
Have they
basically
seen-
just
have they
financial
been-
accounting requirements.
Have they come, where's the headquarters of the diocese?
Fairbanks?
Fairbanks? Have they seen the church? Are they aware?
Oh, the bishop has been here
Several
twice in the
times?
last year.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, good. Because I think that's real important to get a visual on it, so you don't have to describe. Well, let us know how we can help, because that's high on a lot of people's list.
Well, the fact that the CLGs are available through the city is going to be a big help whenever it gets to the point where we have numbers and figures to put on paper.
I think once you get to that point, then we could have a discussion as a commission about this being an ongoing interest for us. We used to have, in our regular meeting, we always had kind of under unfinished business, or maybe it was under informational, yeah, it was under informational items, so we have other items, CLG process updates, Grant Station. We used to have an area that it was a discussion at every meeting, so that it stayed on top of whatever, Fort Raymond, those type of things we used to have on there. It might be worth doing something once you have more information, and we could discuss whether it's something that we have an interest in.
Keep an update.
To keep up with,
Regular
then we could
update.
offer help, education, resources, whatever that might be. So, all right. Thank you for that update. Really looking forward to seeing some progress there and hoping we can help. And then Founder's Day's activities and transfer duties to RBHS. I'm not quite sure.
Founder's Day,
Where's
I think,
Founder's
is in August, isn't it, or Yeah, it's the end of August, Founder's Day. And that's usually a RBHS. We don't usually do too much with it, but it's nice to say if you need help. But again, they like to keep control of that. I think Founder's Day is the end of August, and I'm happy to contact them because I attend their meeting.
It's August 28th.
Yep, end of August, I thought so. So, I will contact them and have something for the August meeting, probably.
Yeah, and we have a post kind of set up, and we just need the details for the venue, so we can
Right.
advertise for it.
Yeah, exactly, so,
All right. Wonderful. Any other general comments, thoughts, anything else for the work session? It is now right at 6:01.
Right at 6. I do have just one quick comment about the Seward's Day proclamation that was signed, and I left it at your spot there. Did you happen to see it?
Right
My
here.
spot?
No, right there, before you sat down. Did you see a proclamation?
That's why.
Okay, so we have it in hand.
there you go. That's the pretty folder.
Yes.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Would you like me to pass it around?
That would be great.
Oh.
Where do you think?
That's the pretty folder. Very nice.
I suppose that's William H. Stewart's.
William H. I didn't realize he was caught in Lincoln's assassination attempt.
He was.
Mhm.
For or against it.
No, he was actually shot. He was sick at home, and they had a 3-prong attack. It's real interesting.
Sweet day is a paid day off for me. I've never lived anywhere that had a holiday for the city.
For the fountain, yeah.
Very nice. Does this go to library when it's done? Is that where it goes? Official record or in a display somewhere?
Boy, that is real nice.
Probably, yes.
It's very nice.
I'm going to confirm that one, yes. Because I'm sure there is a spot for it, as this is my first Seward's Day proclamation.
You can do whatever
You
you
might have
want
to
with
create
it.
a whole new procedure.
I think I'm going to designate a spot in secure storage for them.
We have a different style of folder too that doesn't have like the gatefold opening.
I would probably put it in a archival folder that's acid-free, just to make sure that if anything happens, it is nice and protected.
Very nice.
And maybe if there's some older ones I can find, then I will compile them
There's
all
the
together.
curator.
Yeah, sorry, curator will be quiet now.
All right. If there's nothing else to discuss, I will call this historic preservation work session to an end, if that's acceptable.
Okay, 6:03 p.m. I'm going to stop the recording here.
Calling it to an end.
There you go.